Guys, hey, I hope y'all having a fantastic class. My name is Tony Wilkes, and this is
Caroline Schutz.
And it was back in February that we first took Dave Ramsey's financial peace class, and I want to say hi to Julie as well. And anyway, we had a great time, and we wanted to share a little bit about our personal story and what's happened since February. So, first of all, I want to tell you guys, we are a couple and we took the class as a couple, but we're not married, and our situation...
We'd like to be married.
Okay. Right. We're heading that direction. But, our situations couldn't be more different. Okay? So, in that, I want to tell you, let Caroline tell you her walk through this, and explain why, what happened. When she'll tell you how we got started and why we got started, and then some of the results that she's had since then.
That we've had.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm very proud of all of y'all for being there and for taking this seriously. I know it's a big time commitment. You have lots of homework to do, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. So I first wanted to do financial peace for Tony. I knew that if I was going to marry him, I wanted to be on the same page financially with him and make sure that we had the same visions, goals, dreams, and that we knew how to make them happen. To me, finances was a topic of like the Greek language or chemistry. I just don't speak numbers, and I thought I would never be able to understand it. But what ended up happening is I ended up loving the class and was such a nerd, even though we're both kind of nerds. He's the more free spirit. I would spend forever with my budgets and making sure all the numbers were right, and I really enjoyed it. I know that it's really scary when you first make your budget to, I was working on my credit cards. Before I joined, I had $8,000 in credit cards and about $10,000 left on my car. So that's not a lot of debt. I know most people have more than that, but to me that was more than I ever dreamed of ever having. And so I began budgeting, how am I going to pay off my debt? And I would calculate how much I needed each month to live on, which really isn't that much. And the leftover money, I would make a check and deposit that towards my debt, towards my principal. And that was the scariest thing ever, was to write that check and deposit it every single month before, like on day 1 of that month, or on day 1 and 15 of that month, because I get paid regularly. That's really scary, to make the deposit and then go the rest of the month, because I already had my emergency fund, so I knew I would be fine, but it's still really scary to do things like that. And now my credit cards are paid off, so I'm so excited, and I'm working on my car. And it's just such a joy. I know that at first it seems insurmountable, the problems that we face financially, but little by little, we're changing our lifestyles, and that's the most challenging thing, but it's so rewarding. And I'll let Tony share more about that.
Well, guys, I walked in there, I sat right there in that class, right where you're sitting right now, and I said to myself when I got in there, I said, guys, this doesn't fit my situation. And none of these examples that Dave is saying match what I do, because see, guys, I own my own business, okay? And I own my own business, and I've owned it for a long time. And I grew up with all these same principles that Dave teaches my whole life. And I'll tell you what happened is life got a little out of control, and I allowed those principles that I built my business on to kind of dissipate. And when that happened, I was out of control, really. And it took me coming to this class, and on day 1 when we started, I'm going to tell you, she kicked it into gear. She sat down. She did not deviate from her plan from day 1 of that class. I started on day 1 to try to figure out how I was going to fit my business into that plan. And so instead of after that first class, you know, saying, no, this just doesn't apply to me, I figured out how I could apply to it. So I did that, and I figured out a way to make it all fit into my business, okay? And it was difficult and it was different, and I had to adjust some things that were, you know, on the sheets and stuff to make it work. But I want to tell you, when you have a fully funded emergency fund, you'll find that you stop having emergencies, okay? When you budget for car problems and car issues and tires and stuff like that, it's no longer an issue when things happen. There's so many things that working this plan will alleviate a lot of problems in your life. The problem is that daily activity that it takes to get this done, and that you can get in a mindset that, you know, this will work and it will work for you regardless of your situation. So, you know, guys, what I want you to know is just work the plan every day. Work the plan. You know, stick to your cash. It's very important to stick to your cash and stick to the plan that Dave puts out. And I'll tell you at the end, you know what, it's not going to be easy, guys, but in the end, it will be worth it. You know, today, I learned where my money was going in my business. Now I know exactly where it goes, how much I need. We've got savings that we never had before. We are prepared to get married now, okay? Instead of just making an emotional decision, you know. Now we're prepared financially. And I tell you what, that's what we want for all you guys. We want all you guys to, you know, to take charge of your life by first taking charge of your finances. And I'll tell you what, you know, when you do that, everything else will work out. And, you know, we want to say we'll pray for you. And if you'll pray for us, we'd appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Bye, Julie.